constructed to be who I am, not who they all want me to be. And that's kind of what I write about. I've intertwined my story, my healing story. I've intertwined how I escaped out of that mental and emotional internal. Can't explain that. And I feel like I'm free, and I want to help as many people as possible to get out of this.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Colleen. Nice
how
to
are
meet
you?
you.
Nice to meet you. Oh, phone that this isn't working, but that's okay.
Weird. Okay.
Problem solved.
It is what it is.
Thank you. I say that all the time. I've written Breathe, Nourish Life Thoughtfully. The first book is The Awakening. I recorded it because I wanted as many people as possible to listen to it. I did not put it on that Audible or whatever we call it. I put it on YouTube for free because I'm kind of a pay it forward kind of person. I was constructed to be who I am, not who they all want me to be. And that's kind of what I write about. I've intertwined my story, my healing story. I've intertwined how I escaped out of that mental and emotional internal. Can't explain that. And I feel like I'm free, and I want to help as many people as possible to get out of this.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
could have prevented two really big surgeries had I just taken care of this first. I mean, I got the lap band surgery and I ate right through it. They'd fill my port and I'd not be able to eat and I'd vomit for days and weeks on end. And then I'd finally say, "Hey, doc, can you take it out?" And then I'd eat everything in sight. And I wrote it through my esophagus, so they had to take that out. And because of that, I had to get full gastric bypass. And that's some serious knife cutting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So my mind allowed me to get all cut up. And all I had to do was resolve my mind. I needed to stop. I needed to breathe, nourish myself, nourish life, but do it thoughtfully for myself first. So now book 2 is coming out on 4/20. The first thing I had to embrace is I'm not a medicine person. All those pharmaceutical medicines, they gather up in your lymph nodes, and I've got pseudoxanthoma elasticum. The scientific term for that is PXE, and it's a lymphatic type of problem. So why would I have some more affect my lymph nodes, you know? So I embraced marijuana, and everyone, all my life, I was so afraid of it because everyone said, "It's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad." Even Putin says it. He arrested that poor girl for marijuana. I was just like floored. This world is just like, who is everyone to say what's right for who? I'm 1% of the population, and everyone's gonna. I'm sorry, I can't do that anymore. So book 1 was The Awakening. I had to be aware of where I was going wrong. And I took a process mapping approach to heal my body. I've always been in business. And in business, process mapping is you first got to be aware the process is broken before you can fix it. So the awakening is my awareness. The second one's the restructure. I've done all I can to eliminate all the unnecessary from my process. All those external sources is unnecessary, and me pointing externally is unnecessary. Like a big circle, like a zero, everything contained within is my only responsibility. Everything contained without is everyone else's responsibility. So the second book is my restructure. Third book is growth, and I can't even possibly think about writing in growth until I've grown a little bit, so it won't publish till at least 2030. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I got a lot of
Okay.
people I can thank for where I am today, like Darren Hardy. He started me off with the compound effect, and now he's got the entrepreneurial roller coaster, and I write about roller coaster rides I've been in my whole life. I'm up, I'm down, it's up, and life ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just share a little bit about your background with us, please. If you can just, where you from, what happened to
Well,
get you to this point.
I was I was born in the very smallest city, and I believe it's even the smallest street in the smallest state of all the United States. And I've always just felt so freaking small because we are all small. We're just little teeny specks. We're even smaller than that. And I just felt so small. I felt smaller than even a speck. I felt like the worst gnat and the most biggest annoyance of life. And yeah, I started there. And I would always get in the way because I just wanted to help. So I'd like, you know that little girl that's like tugging at mommy's apron and just wants to help. But mom's got all these other kids to take care of. So she's like, yeah, so I was scattered away. And then I do stupid things because I'm not normal. I'm sorry. They want to call them stupid, fine, go for it. I'm not the same as everyone else. They'd say, oh, that's common sense. I'm like, well, if it was common sense, don't you think I'd know? I don't know. So I don't know how to put any of this in words. I just know that I rehearse it in my head. I'm like, get that out. That's unnecessary. Don't talk about that. I don't talk about people. I talk about behaviors. When you talk about people and you start name calling, then that's the same thing as what you get coming at you. Why would I do that? I would never. Why would I do that? Knock somebody down for the sake of me feeling better. I don't understand those logics. I don't
Mhm.
know. That's where I am.
Okay. So what happened with the gastric bypass and all that? Did you have allergies or what was that? Was it a food addiction?
Food addiction. I have a huge food addiction. I calmed myself through food. I've nurtured myself through food. So I had to learn how to eat food properly. Not that processed food that kept me in that cycle of sugar. Yeah, I eat sugar. I don't eliminate sugar, but I don't eat it like I used to.
Uh-huh.
You know, I eat my nutrients first because now I have to. I've got a stomach the size of my thumb. So if I put my
So,
nutrients, yeah, yeah, I take my supplements first thing in the morning with a whole bunch of water. I'm always drinking water, and I drink black coffee. I even eliminated cream from my coffee, but I do treat myself every now and again with cream in my coffee. Everything is moderation for me. As soon as I feel that pinch in my tummy, I know, hey, you've taken one too many bites. Don't go forward. Hello, you're going to stretch that tummy out again, and you'll be right back where you started. So I'm
mhm.
accountable to me. I'm responsible for me. I'm resilient through consistent adaptability.
So if I may ask, what happened that caused you to look for the emotional eating? Because everybody's got their trigger and everybody's got their response. What was it for you?
Mine is all kinds of narcissistic abuse where all they think they know best for me. Simple as
Uh-huh.
that. Simple
Uh-huh.
as that.
And have you worked with that, or is that part of what's in your book?
It's part of what's in my book, and I've had to learn how to establish boundaries. I'm also a go-getter. And as I'm sitting there trying to go, 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 I've always been. I got my bachelor's degree. And no, it's not my BS bullshit degree. I got my bachelor's degree, a BS in management. It took me 20 years. But I finally got my bachelor's degree from Johnson& Wales University. I was raising a family. I was working. I was going to school. I think the Clifton Strengths in my book says it best for me. When I see gold, I go for it. And I need to be pulled back and reeled in, but not down. And there's a lot of people like me out there.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you went for the gastric bypass. When was that? How long ago was that?
I believe I got that in 2017,
Uh-huh.
January 2017. But the lap band I got in 2009.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and had I decided to take any initiative to love myself first, I wouldn't have had to go through any of that.
Well, it's easy for someone to say it. It's not
Yeah,
easy for someone to feel it.
you're absolutely correct. I had to go through that because I couldn't feel it. I had no idea. So now I emit these sensations through my whole body. I know when I'm going in the right direction because I get the tingles. Everyone know. You know what? Go something like this and rub your those tingles. Those tingles. Those are the sensations that bring you more. The whiny crying, woe is me, I'm a victim. That brings me more of that. I don't want
Yeah.
more of that. I want to heal. The tingles make me heal. And the more tingles I get, the more I'm automatically emitting love vibrational waves to the universe. An automatic response now. I know I've reached as far as Australia and I've reached Africa and I've reached Panama with my I say later, hey, did you feel anything? And they did. And it's just to me it's amazing. I never knew I could.
Yeah. Well, that's more working within the quantum field, right? You're not working in the physical.
No.
So
I'm working in the sensations field.
yeah. So what has changed since then for you? I mean, obviously besides the eating and that, how has the mindset changed?
The mindset has drastically changed. I now know how to establish boundaries. I now know
Uh-huh.
how to say no and mean it and stand firm. I now know how to not have to take care of everyone else if I haven't taken care of myself first. It's like the airplane scenario. If the plane's going down, are you going to help everyone put their oxygen masks on? And would you survive without yours?
Well, you're no use to anyone dead.
I'm sorry?
I say you're no use to anyone dead. A lot
Yeah.
of people that are givers, that are helpers, tend to give to everyone and not themselves because there's guilt, there's shame, they feel not worthy. Even if someone insists that they take, they're like, no, 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 it's okay, I don't need it. And
Yeah.
it's so hard to accept help and to accept love and to accept assistance in any way, shape, or form. You know?
Some of the people won't accept it because they're afraid they're just going to get hurt again. They've been hurt so much. They're on guard. They got this wall up now. They don't want to get hurt one more time.
Yep. So what would
Yeah.
you say to those people? Because it's easy again to say it, love
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's not so
Well,
easy to get that understanding.
I don't even say it anymore because I can't tell them. They don't know how. I show
Yeah,
them. I'm
yeah,
a guide. I'm a
exactly.
messenger. I just show them. I can't even be a coach. There's way too many people out there that need this kind of guidance. I just show everybody.
Yeah.
We got a
Well,
whole
isn't that the
world.
way? It's living the way. It's not saying it. It's not just saying, "Oh, I care about you," but are you loving yourself?
Yeah, I am actually. I take perfect care of myself. I nutritionally eat perfectly well. These things here are expected to go blind on me. With Pseudoxanthoma elasticum, we have something called angioid streaks. What that is if you could imagine like a veneer and how it cracks, I have cracks in my eyes, and I put those images out on social media so that people could see, stress forces inflammation. The inflammation forces more cracks. If I have a stress-free life, the cracks won't get more prominent. I think I'm trying to heal my own eyes because these cracks, for PXE people, we require injections. I've just been using basic organic castor oil right into my eyes. Stings way
Uh-huh.
less than the dilation solution they put. It stings way less. And then I always see way better when I'm done. I noticed if I don't use the castor oil in my eyes for like 3 days, then the spots start coming back.
Okay.
And then people start looking like Swiss cheese. And if I'm really under stress, I see nothing but Swiss cheese everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are the other symptoms? Because I've never heard of it before.
Well, I'm gonna thank you for asking. Most people could care less to know what pseudoxanthoma elasticum is. They look at me as a nut and say, "Oh, she's an alien now. Look at PXE." They assume. I thank you for asking. Pseudoxanthoma elasticum, it's a lymphatic system. It hits all the lymph nodes. and it
Uh-huh.
calcificates and claudicates within the system. I'm supposed to have some serious heart conditions right now, and I don't. I don't have any heart condition. I'm supposed to have intestinal disorders like up the kazoo, maybe even up to like a colostomy bag, and I don't have that either. I'm not blind, and I'm not getting injections in my eyes. I found we are natural people. Natural. I can't even wear makeup because it affects my eyes. I'll tell you a story. I had a girlfriend once. I put makeup on. She'd never been attracted to me once. No, never. She came up and French kissed me just from makeup. So I'm just like, okay, I can't wear it, but whatever. I guess I look beautiful with it too. I don't know. I'm just a kind of simple girl.
So how
And
did they diagnose it? Did you have a lymphatic problem
well,
or
I was 19 when I was diagnosed. It was Harvard Health way back then. And one of the physicians looked at my neck and said, "Oh, that looks like plucked chicken skin. That could be something." So they took a biopsy when I was 19 and they told me, "You have pseudoxanthoma elasticum." And it was verified. And then I went through life not even knowing or thinking about it, not even mentioning it ever again until 5 years ago when Dr. Prescott told me, "You have android streaks, and it could be a result of this, this, or this." And pseudoxanthoma elasticum came up again. So the pieces were connected. I lived my whole life not even realizing how serious a condition I had.
well, I think a lot of people are walking ticking time bombs. Most people don't realize they don't stop what they're doing and they keep on that trajectory. It's going to cause problems later in life. Whether it's cholesterol or whatever, uh, you know.
Even cholesterol, I need high cholesterol. I take lots of fish oil, even salmon. It's important for me.
Yeah,
If you notice, I said I put oil right in my eyes.
yeah,
People of my nature need the lubrication. We need the
that's
slip
good
the wrinkle, or
oils.
whatever you want to call it. We
Those are
can't
good oils.
or we can't calcify nor claudicate, because that's where
Yeah.
I get.
So the cholesterol, I know I put it in my belly button because they say it helps with digestion and that, but what would be that? Is that also related, or is that other people have digestion problems but not lymphatic problems? Is it all just different things?
I don't know for other people, pseudoxanthoma elasticum people. I don't know everything about it, but I know from the conferences I've been attending, it's a lymphatic system, and every time I've ever taken any pharmaceutical medicines, it goes right to my lymph nodes, and they automatically start swelling. I proved it. I was in Panama. Kelly, the owner of the plantation, she saw it was like the size of the head of an egg. And then I stopped the medicines and it went away. I prayed it away with Joe Dispenza's sensations healing, the quantum healing. I prayed it right there. I
Yeah.
pray it to my eyes, the quantum healing, the sensations. They say where your focus goes, your energy flows. So I focus on my eyes. I want them healed. I don't want to go blind. Nobody
No.
wants that. I like
No.
seeing my eyes. I think they're pretty.
Well, the thing is, like Joe Dispenza says, is you get caught up in the emotional state that is led to your pain. And if you change your emotional state that led to the disease, then you don't manifest the disease anymore. You manifest whatever it is you do want and not what you don't want.
Right. And I believe I am perfectly healthy with zero disease, even in a very complicated body. And I had a very complicated mindset my whole life. So I want the world to know, how did I do this? I wrote it
Uh-huh.
down. I put a whole entire self-love healing openly on Facebook. I've even gifted it to Mark Zuckerberg. Hey, please leave it there. Let people search through it. Use it. Just use it for free. Because everyone asks, how'd you get where you are? I always ask how, how. I always asked how.
Yeah.
Now they can search how. And I love how Mark Zuckerberg created the social media because there's a search function. And that's just the same as a search engine optimization. You just go in and you type in a keyword and you can figure it all out.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say, I don't know, abuse. Anything that's talking about abuse, you can. I I consider myself as a survivor of
Uh-huh.
physical abuse and narcissistic trauma, and a very complicated body. Yeah.
Well, I think I see two things, and just maybe it's my take on it, but I just want to hear your thoughts. So I have a lot of allergies and stuff, and I believe it comes from being vaccinated as a child, not this other stuff that's going on now. And I think it's mercury poisoning or something that's caused the system to go. The other option is, like you say, emotional trauma, that your body produces allergens because it's like a self-defense mechanism against toxic people. So your body takes in emotion as a toxic. What do you think of that? What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's the receptor's responsibility, me being the receptor, to not take it in. And I didn't understand that my whole life. I was a codependent people pleaser, so I took it all in. I feel better not taking any of it in. It's not mine.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is, once your system's inflamed, you now have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and like you said, people don't understand because the people that you grew up with are not meant to grow with you. They're meant to grow you. Um,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm. I'm leaving them all behind, and I'm just like, I don't want to. I love my entire family. I've got an entire family of people that do love me, but they think they know better for me than I know for me. I can't live like that.
No.
I've manifested, my book has a love story in it.
Uh-huh.
I manifested my captain. I moved off land and onto a boat for a whole entire year. My captain has a 1969 41-foot sailing yacht. I lived on that yacht for a whole year. I learned every single thing I could do without all of the efficiencies that we've created, the dishwashers. I even washed clothes in the sink on the boat and hung them out on the mast strings and all that stuff. I don't know what you call all this stuff, but I managed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it was wonderful. And I saw all of my emotions coming out at this person. Like, this person didn't live this to this age and get this yacht and get all without me telling him how to do and be. And my emotions were like, "Well, don't say that. Don't act like that. Don't. You better answer me." No, I got off the boat, healed my toxic mind because that was the only thing I was ever responsible for
Yeah.
healing from the get-go. And I manifested him to come back in my life. I told him, I says, "Mario, I'm leaving the boat to heal myself. I'm committed to you." And then I left it and said, "Please don't let me break us up."
So what happened?
He bought us a house,
Okay.
and I'm, I'm manifesting to get to Texas and get away from my family's trauma bond.
Uh-huh.
Just love them from a distance. I really wanted to just hug my family and let them know they're okay. I can't leave them in anger because that hurts me. It hurts me to see my own sister has a heart disease that she could certainly heal from. She doesn't need to hold on to any of
So you can't leave?
I can leave. I know I can. My heart does not want to leave them hurting like that, thinking that I don't like them. My goodness, the words that come out of her mouth. I understand it's what she feels for herself, and it's so sad.
So my question then is, if you stay, how are you helping them if they're not changing?
I'm not helping them at all, nor am I helping myself. I'm going. I've manifested it anyway. I really just wanted to try one more time. I'm
And
a,
that's fine. And now
yeah,
you know you've tried everything.
yeah,
Because even, you know what, if you could want something so badly for someone, but if they don't want it,
I know.
you've
But
seen
I
the other
did,
side. They're just not there. They're not there.
yeah, but I did achieve a whole bunch in this last year and a half.
Yeah,
One of my dear, dear, dear friends, she took me in. I became homeless because of a narcissist. Didn't let, I mean, November 30th, 2021, I was at my peak. Happiness, fitness, mental, every single thing. I was even pulling from the universe. I heard something that pseudoxanthoma elasticum, we have a protective coating on our cells. It prevents a specific protein, an ABCC6, from penetrating inside our cells. But then it's also got inside the cells that do not replicate function. I mentioned this to one of the immunology, whatever you call them, over at Harvard University. She saw
yeah.
immediately the first thought that came into her head is my genes could cure cancer, like that. I don't know if she's working on it. She works under the fellow Dan over at Harvard, so I'm kind of hoping they are working on it. The scientists
Yeah.
over at PXEE International say, you know what? I'm not sure that PXE is a humanity saver, but I believe we are not a deformity. We are brought onto this planet to actually help. I believe we have a specific purpose. Our genes can help a whole bunch of different illnesses. Like sickle cell has something in there I heard that helps illnesses. So why are they saying we're a deficit? I think that we're more of an enhancement than anything. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just illogical. I'm not a
No, I
scientist.
think there's something to that. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but it sounds like there could be something to that.
There is something to it. I actually know that. But I can't
Yeah.
say that because we're not supposed to say we know anything.
Well, I don't
I got
really
the
care what people
close
say.
again.
If
I
they
got
if they say we're not allowed to say anything, I'm like, I'll say it first and then ask for forgiveness later.
I did that the other day. I just lashed out on somebody, and oh my God, I went back and I apologized to this poor child. She didn't realize she had triggered me, and I vomited my all over her, and I apologized to her. I said, I just cannot stand talking when I'm emotional. I just needed to walk away, and I'm sorry I did that to you.
Uh-huh. So, what's the prognosis then for your, is it PXE?
I think I'm 100% healthy, and I'm going to live well into my 90s.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you're moving to
Sure
Texas?
how, yes, I'm not sure how many PXC people on this planet have lived into their 90s. I haven't done any of the statistical research. Some of us are entirely healthy,
Well, a
which
lot
is,
of it's mindset. You
yeah,
know, people say, oh, you should have been dead by now. And then people kill themselves mentally thinking they should have been dead when
yeah.
actually there was nothing wrong with it.
There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with me. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me. Zero wrong with me. I believe I will live into my 90s. I am going to move to Texas. My captain still has the boat. I'm still anticipating sailing. He was working on the mast plate, and oh my goodness, I flew out of a plane. I'm going to sail at very high speeds and feel the adrenaline. I always avoided adrenaline. Now I want to
Yeah.
go for it. It's the same feeling as anxiety, only it's a different perspective.
True. True. Anxiety is not enhancing your life at all.
Right. I love getting the cortisol out of my body. That's toxic. Whew.
Yeah.
I learned
Yeah.
some body motion breathing. Joe Dispenza taught me the breathing, and I felt the sensations. But then I learned yoga, and I learned like the slow movement, Tai Chi, and when I breathe and stretch, something tells me the pores, something still comes out. So it's like I'm stretching and I'm tightening and I'm like eliminating the toxins. I'm helping myself. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just makes sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they say. Move your body, get the blood flow, get the system going.
Yeah. I mean, I work out intense, but I don't have to. I can sit right here and do it because now I know how to activate my muscles. I never understood that before. They'd say, activate that. I'm like, huh? That's why I had to watch. That's why I created an entire YouTube channel, and it's nothing but videos and music, and you just watch. I say, you watch it, you observe, and then you do. I can't tell
Mhm.
anybody. Once you tell anybody what to do, they're like, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. No, 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 no. I just say, just watch. The children taught me that one. Little boy,
Yeah.
he's like, he wants to do a side plank. And I watched him. He's watching me, observing. And then he did a perfect side plank. I didn't tell him anything. We don't
That's
need to
it.
tell anybody. Yeah. We don't need to tell anybody anything. My videos are muted for a reason.
So how do they get hold of you? How do they watch your channel? What is the name of
My,
it?
my,
Your
well,
name of,
my brand is Breathe, Nourish Life Thoughtfully. My channel right
okay.
now is that at symbol and my full name, COLEENCARDOZA.
Yeah.
That's how you find it.
Uh-huh. So, and the book, how would they get hold of that? Is that also on YouTube?
The book is self-recorded and yes on YouTube, and you can click on videos and scroll down and you'll see it, or you can search YouTube if you know how to do that. It says self-recorded, or so it's easy enough to find the book. If they want it free, if they want to buy it, it's on Amazon. You just type in Breathe, Nourish Life Thoughtfully and Livia Charles, and you'll find it instantly. It's so
I
I love
will,
how these people have created all of this ease to find stuff.
I will put it on my website as well for you. And
Thank
that way people can find it too.
you.
So, what message do you have for people that are listening?
My message is to turn off the record player. Originally, when I started this, I joined a group and it was called Unbreakable. And all I heard them doing is crying over all the stuff that they're going through instead of trying to look for solutions to get out of it. Of course, you're unbreakable if you keep talking about it. You have to get it out of your head and seek solutions for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be unbreakable. That record player is going to keep going, keep going, keep going. They're little trains in your brain, the synapses and neural pathways. And the more you talk about it, the more you're building it, and the more you're remembering it, and the more you're building it, and the more, and it's embedded. And you don't want it to be a ditch.
Yeah, no, I love that. And it's true because people don't realize that if they don't change the way they think, they're going to keep creating the outcome. And they keep
Yeah,
wanting a different outcome, but they want insist on thinking the same way they did.
right. Which is exactly why I've done everything different than the way I used to. They told me, they said in the beginning, and I could care less anymore what they said. So you're a show up. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, I'm like, huh? Is that what you got? I'm exercising, and
Well,
then so some people from the other side part of the planet said, "Oh, she needs some penis or something. She's exercising. She must need that." I'm like, huh? Really? Is that what you think?
I always say that people are very quick to judge, but they haven't walked in your shoes.
Correct.
And it's so easy coming from their own background to assume certain things about you. And I couldn't care less what others think anymore. Because,
I I am to that point. Dolores Cannon taught me that in the most magnificent of ways. I love our sister Dolores Cannon. Do you realize she's been deceased for 14 years? Sorry, 10 years.
wow,
She has
wow,
magnetized something.
she
She's going
did.
through a whole bunch of people. She found the compound effect. She said there's no interference, and she said, watch me.
Well, she's probably on the other side still doing this stuff.
She is. She's singling me right now, telling you, listen, she's there. She's talking through a whole bunch of us right now. Some
Oh,
don't
yes.
realize. I picked up on her immediately. My sister Corey had magic like her.
Uh-huh.
My sister Corey was so spiritual. She could read the perfect tarot cards only if she was piss ass drunk and out of her mind, meaning get rid of all thoughts. And you always got but she couldn't charge either because there was a karma associated with that. So you get the perfect card reading from her. She didn't charge and she was piss-ass drunk.
So you had to pay for the alcohol.
No, nothing. Didn't have to. If she got any rewards monetarily, the cards wouldn't read right.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well,
Her reward
that's
was
a
that she
pity.
got your cards right. My reward
Well,
is that I can see people healing. A very dear friend of mine was involved for a very long time with a narcissist that manipulates like no other. And now
mhm.
she's healing. That's my reward.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I'm here too, is the problem with narcissists is they keep getting away with stuff because people believe their lies. They don't want to get involved. And I always say that evil flourishes when good men do nothing. And you don't want to become a narcissist. You don't want to become like them. You want to wake people up, but they cannot see it unless they've experienced it. Like you said, they
I
need to see
experienced,
the person behind the mask and experience the untruth and test it for themselves.
I did experience the worst of a narcissist when I was just a young lady. We were living in Pawtucket, and upstairs from us was a lady called Joanne Rossi. You can look her up in the early 80s. She had 3 children upstairs, one of which
Huh?
was a 6-month-old baby. His name was Brian. From here to here, you know, a baby at 6 months old, this is all cartilage. This woman broke his arm. This part. You know how hard that is to do. At 6 months old, his arm was broken. Her son, Stephen, was 3 years old. He had a scar from here down to his belly button because she punched him in the stomach. In Rhode Island, they have a system called DCYF, Department of Youth and Family, whatever. They were involved. They knew about these children. The third child was Missy. She was 4. She was standing on a step stool cooking for the whole family, cleaning the whole house. Joanne ultimately killed Stephen. She hid him in a garbage bag under her bed. And until she couldn't stand the smell no more, then she put him in the hallway. And then she recognized somebody might catch the smell, so she buried him in Somerset. Nobody has spoken for Stephen. I speak for Stephen. I've seen the worst of the worst. Joanne Rossi was arrested. She was put in prison, and from what I hear, every single bone in her fingers were broken again and again and again, but then they released her and she had more children and repeated the pattern. And DCYF was involved. So they can't tell me they're helping children when I've seen that.
No, they're not. Well, some people there are, but the corruption's so deep. It's actually just an opportunity for them to get to the children.
Yeah, I know. And it's the saddest thing ever. My niece is beautiful. She fosters as many children as she can. She's an amazing kid. She's an amazing kid. She's a foster mom, and she's got a lot of babies herself too. She'll take all the babies. All the babies. I love that kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
DCYF
again,
needs somebody watching over them. They need somebody watching. They need an eye over the eye.
mhm. Well, that's why it's good that you released the book, because by you healing you, you give other people permission to heal themselves.
Mhm.
It's not about trying to fix everyone and saying, I'm not going to do it to me. You fix, I'll just watch you. I'm okay. Because
Yeah.
then nothing happens, nothing changes, you know.
I am okay, and I am not a coach. I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I'm a Colleen. I'm a messenger and I'm a guide. I can't stress to those levels in fighting people that want to heal. Not for me. Not for
No,
me.
not necessary. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. I will share your links below. And yeah, and also, like I said before, I'll put your book on the website as well.
I'm not afraid of anybody being offended by anything I said because maybe they need to work on their offense if they're offended. So you don't need to cut anything.
If they're offended, they shouldn't watch this.
Right. Thank you.
Well, thank
I
you. Have an
love
awesome
that I'm magnetized into the best angels on earth.
day. Colleen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And wishing you an awesome day. Thank you.
You too.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.